few years ago, I made a video on this channel talking about how MrBeast, the biggest YouTuber on the planet, was actually making more money on Facebook than most people thought. And it turns out I was right. He went on a podcast recently with Mark Zuckerberg where he talked about his Facebook growth, how he's monetizing on Facebook, and Mark actually went into detail about how Facebook monetization is taking shape this year in 2025. So I think it's a great interview. I want to go over some of the main things that they went in this interview because I have a lot of experience working with YouTubers, big and small, YouTubers with millions of subscribers on YouTube and also big followings on Facebook. And I've been able to see behind the scenes on how many of these creators make money and how much money they're making. So I can give you that feedback based on my experience from working with a ton of different content creators over the past couple of years. And basically we get to hear from MrBeast himself talking about his growth and success on Facebook. I think it's a great interview, so let's jump right into it.
I wanted to go back to something you were talking about in the beginning around bringing more creators to Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, like, for me, I think right now, especially in the context of video, right? Like we create video, we make long form podcasts, we also make some behind the scenes content. I think for me, I can close my eyes and imagine what a YouTube video looks like, what a TikTok video looks like, what a reel looks like, but it's harder for me to imagine what a Facebook video looks like. And so I think that would be like, you know, at least something in my eyes in this next chapter is kind of defining what the right Facebook creator looks like or what the right Facebook video looks like. Does that make sense?
So do you think that that's something that we need to do?
I think,
because I don't know that the other services defined that. I think it's almost the creators.
Yeah, I guess it's the
I actually think, in my opinion, like a Facebook video, at least as far as I can tell, is a video that is probably shorter. It's incredibly visual right from the start, and it can be consumed without language.
Well, I can give you a lot of feedback and information on this. Luckily, I've been able to work with a lot of content creators, including my own Facebook pages. It turns out on Facebook is a whole different platform. This is not the same. They're thinking of how can I get more of my YouTube audience to watch me on Facebook? That's the type of question that he was trying to ask, and that's not the right question to ask. The right question is, what type of videos should I be making for Facebook? Because when it comes to Facebook is more of a discovery tool, meaning that as you browse on Facebook, you will discover videos you want to watch, and it could be related to the interest that you're already engaging with. For example, let's say that you're liking posts or images about golfing, for example. Let's say you like a couple of golfing pages. So you're more likely to get suggested videos about golfing. And so because of that, you will discover new content that is related to golfing because Facebook has a lot of information about you. So the question is not how can I get more of my long form YouTube audience to watch me on Facebook, is how can I format my videos to work better on Facebook? That's the right question. And the way to do that is, like he said, it's mostly focusing on not long form, but short form content, because keeping the attention span of someone for 10 minutes on Facebook is very difficult compared to YouTube. If you're thinking about listening to a podcast, for example, as I watch this video is on YouTube. So if I wanted to, typically I wouldn't go on Facebook to look for a podcast episode. And that's mainly because of the nature of how the audiences and the platform is actually built. So for example, just like TikTok decided that, hey, we're going to try to do long form content, and now you can upload 3-minute videos on TikTok. A lot of people didn't like that. And a lot of people were not using 3-minute videos on TikTok. And that's because that was not the purpose of the platform. So every single platform has a purpose, and Facebook has its own unique purpose. And Facebook has ways that you can format videos so you can make the most money possible, but you don't need to look at it as from the lens of I need to bring my audience from YouTube to Facebook, because that's not going to happen.
For us as long-form podcasters, we just haven't seen as much success with long-form video and don't know that many creators that are making long-form video. I think that would be the push, is to show creators like who is the model citizen, who is succeeding with really long-form video.
So they're stuck with the mindset that I need to make my long-form content succeed on Facebook. And like I said, that is not the right way to look at it. It's completely different users, completely different audiences. There's a lot of podcasters who are making way more money on Facebook than they're making on YouTube. And think about this. If you had one video that's 1 minute or not 1 minute, 1 hour and 45 minutes, and potentially you get a lot of eyeballs into that video. You get to monetize that video perhaps multiple different ways, because you get multiple ad breaks throughout the video. Specifically on YouTube, you get multiple ad breaks, so you get to make money from the ads. However, if you took the content from that podcast and you split it into 25 different videos, you now have 25 different opportunities to monetize that content. So Facebook is a discovery tool to get people to discover your long form. It is not a place to potentially upload your long form and get people to watch long form content. So let's say you wanted to blow up your podcast and get as many people to listen to it as possible. Well, you use basically clippings or different videos to get people hooked into your podcast. And just think about all the people who have blown up over the past couple of years on TikTok or Reels, for example. People who have many clips of podcasts that have millions of views, and because of one clip that they found extremely funny, or maybe they found the podcast to be extremely interesting, because of that, they became fans and they went ahead and listened to the podcast or went on YouTube and subscribed. So it's a discovery tool to get people to then transition into long form. It is not the place to post long form content, because long form content will not do well. It is very difficult to keep an audience from Facebook to watch for something longer than 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, my point before was just that there's sort of a vacuum here, because there are a lot of people who want content, and I think it's somewhat underserved today. It's like they're spending a lot of time on Facebook, right? There are billions of people, and a lot of the content that they're seeing is stuff that has been shared primarily on, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or other places, and then reshared to Facebook. So it's good content that's there. But I think that there just is an opportunity, a very big one, for creators who want to make investing in Facebook as their primary home, like, and want to basically explore what is the native content that works well, that is different from that. I mean, the thing that I really agree with in what you just said is it's going to be somewhat different from these others. And yeah, so a Facebook primary creator will create content that fits really well there, and then they'll reshare it to the other places, just like people reshare stuff today. But
in my view, it should be the opposite way. I don't think you should be making specifically for Facebook, because when it comes to making content for Facebook, I would say if you're going to be making content, you should start at a place where you can make long form first. And when I say long form, I'm referring to maybe 8, 10, 15, 20-minute content. And then from there, you can take that content and you can repurpose that into other platforms. Like you can use it to grow your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, and monetize it on all of those platforms. I don't believe you should be just focusing on, I'm gonna make Facebook my primary source for content or for revenue, because at the end of the day, he's the one that owns the platform. We don't have any control of the changes that they make. We don't own these platforms. They can just decide to get rid of monetization and that's it. Or YouTube can just make a change like the ad apocalypse that happened a few years ago, and a lot of channels just die. So we don't own these platforms. So you should not be just committed to just Facebook or just YouTube or just TikTok. You should be on all the platforms. But if you're going to be making content, you should be monetizing that content in as many places as possible. And that's what I teach my clients. That's what I do myself, because honestly, you're spending time, resources to make content. Might as well make the most of it.
I think if we're going to be talking about what the future of Facebook video could look like, the world of creators, we have to add in another perspective. And I think there's no one better than adding in our friend, Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast.
Oh, there he is.
Welcome to the
Jimmy,
show.
what's up, man?
How's it going?
How you
How's
doing?
it going, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We're kicking around right now talking about ideas for Facebook video.
I mean, I'm curious, how is your short form video monetization on Facebook going?
It's actually pretally good. Weirdly, it's like over 2 times higher than every other platform. So I don't know what you guys are doing, but
well, that's the arbitrage I was talking about.
Yeah.
I actually think that there's a thing here that
he just said he's making twice as much money from Facebook, from his videos on Facebook, than anywhere else. That's actually true. He's not lying, because I'm able to back this up by data, and the creators that I've been able to work with, and the Facebook pages, the behind the scenes, and the stuff that we have, different tests that we have run, you actually get to make more money from Facebook monetization because of the different opportunities that you have to monetize. And now even in like this year, it's going to be one of the biggest years for Facebook monetization, because of all the different tools and the different ways that they have to monetize your content. Like on YouTube, for example, you can't monetize stories. On YouTube, you can't monetize photo posts. This is going to be something that you will allow, like right now it's happening, that you can monetize on Facebook photos and text and stories. And imagine taking one video, like one 20-minute video, turning that into multiple little videos that you can monetize on Facebook, turning that into multiple Facebook reels you can monetize, taking small behind the scene photos from whatever you were doing in that video and posting that on Facebook and also monetizing that, and then sharing that on your stories and also monetizing that. That's the opportunity with Facebook, and that's why overall you will be able to make more money from Facebook than any other monetization platform, because you can repurpose in so many different ways that allows you to make money in many different formats, not just from ad revenue on video. And so that's what a lot of content creators still don't get and they don't understand, is that Facebook allows you to not just make money with video, but you can take that same content and just repurpose that into multiple little formats that you can also monetize. So overall, your Facebook page will make more money than your content on YouTube.
That's not that abnormal of a result. I mean, our monetization on Facebook is quite good. I mean, our ad system is quite good at basically being able to recommend content to people and be able to, and like you said, I mean, a lot of people are buying things on the platforms, so we can make it frictionless. You have the credit cards on file. Historically, I think, in some ways, the monetization tools have been more mature than even a lot of the creator tools on the Facebook side, at least, because we focused early on friends. But as the creator tools kind of get better and better, or if you're an experienced creator who just knows how to do this stuff, then there just is this big arbitrage opportunity of being able to come reach the billions of people who are on Facebook and monetize generally better than almost all other social platforms out there.
Yes, and hopefully within a year have dubs and you can reach even more people.
I think I think your request of getting that within a year is very reasonable.
I just want to harp on this because I'm telling you, it will change everything.
I agree.
All my most viewed reels on your platforms, my most viewed just short form on your platform, are ones where I don't speak. When I try to go viral on Instagram or Facebook with short form content, I literally I don't know if you saw this one, but and also if I'm going too hard, you just cut it out. But
no.
I mean, with our boy over here.
I'm with you on this. We actually launched the
look at this. So this is my most viewed video. It's just me running with progressively more and more money. And there's a reason why I don't say any words. So I'm running with 40 grand and then 50, and I just go until I literally can't move anymore. It's pretty funny. And I would love to be able to talk in this, but the problem is if I say a word, boom, the viewership's gonna get cut by more than half, because then it's only gonna recommend it to people who speak English.
Yeah, so that's super interesting.
Actually, you know what? There's a downside to that. Yes, if you don't speak on your videos, if you want to reach a massive audience on Facebook of millions and millions of people, you can definitely do that by not talking a specific language or not using language within your video and just kind of, leaving the video to see what happens. The problem with that is that your video could get recommended to a bunch of different countries where you're going to get a lot of views, but having a lot of views doesn't necessarily translate into more money. And I've seen this happen over and over again. I have clients who are able to get 400 to 1 billion views per month on Facebook, yet they're not making the type of money you would expect from 1 billion views on Facebook. And that's because they're getting massive numbers of views. But the problem is those views are all over the place. So you're getting views from non-English speaking countries. You're getting views from countries where ad revenue pays very little. So even though you're getting massive numbers of views, when you look at how much money the video is making, you're saying, well, I should be making way more from this. However, if you actually made a video where you're trying to talk about specific language, that, for example, MrBeast said in his video, the minute that he adds English or something within the video to voiceover in English or something like that, the video gets pushed more into an English speaking audience. That's what you want. Yes, you will get less views, but you will make way more money because it is being pushed to an English speaking audience where advertisers tend to spend more money. And because of that, the RPM on that video is going to pay you more money. So even though there is a downside to that, yes, you can get more views if you go global and you reach a massive audience. In his case, it works because he has a brand, a global brand in multiple languages. He has a massive business behind the scenes. He wants to get as many views as possible and just reach as many people as possible because he's able to make money from the brand deals. He's a massive brand. He has chocolate and all these things that he can sell. But for the average content creator, you don't want to do that. The average content creator that doesn't make the type of content that MrBeast makes, that is more niche specific, like you're making videos about one specific topic, like for example, golfing or anything else, you don't want to go broad. You don't want to make videos to reach a global audience. You want to reach people. If your goal is to make money with ad revenue, the most money that you can make with your niche, you want to go specific to tier 1 audiences. And tier 1 is what we call like the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, those English speaking countries where basically advertisers spend a lot of money.
Obviously, most of the people on our services don't speak English, right? I mean, it's if you have 3 billion people, there's, it's like maybe 500 million people or so, maybe a bit more than that.
And then of the people who do speak English, how many is it their first language where they actually want to consume content in it?
Totally.
So it just
totally. I mean, but it sounds like from what you're saying, I think the opportunity for the AI dubbing may be even bigger than what I thought, because I kind of viewed it as just, okay, create content in whatever language you want to start, and then you'll get it in all the other languages. But I hadn't even considered what you just said, which is that it's not just about kind of taking the content that exists and spreading it to other languages. People aren't even creating content in some cases because language is going to be a barrier.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that you're absolutely right on that. So it's not just taking the current inventory and making it like much more kind of.
Again, this only works for high-level creators who make content like MrBeast, who is trying to appeal to a massive global audience because they have a massive brand and they have a massive business behind them. And this does not apply for the average content creator with 1 million followers on Facebook or even 100,000 followers on Facebook. You do not want to reach massive global audience. You want to stick to your niche, and you want to go for the highest paying niche, basically the highest paying audience inside of that niche, which is always going to be a tier 1 audience. So this is general advice, but I don't recommend you follow what they're talking about, because trust me, if you reach a global audience, the numbers, the metrics don't mean anything if you're not making money. You might be able to get 400 million, 500 million views if you really have good videos, like some of my clients that I've been able to see, how much money they make from massive views, but they're not making as much as they could if they have the same amount of views or even half those views in tier 1 audiences.
Efficient in terms of how it's shown to the right people, but there's going to be all these things that don't even exist today that should. So yeah, no, I think within a year we'll have that.
It'll be exciting. Yeah, because we had a big resurgence on our content globally, even if we add it to older videos, just because a lot of American content here is very high budget and stuff like that, and people in lower RPMs in other parts of the world, they don't have that kind of stuff. So when you finally get the dubs, people in other parts of the world are like, what the fuck? Someone spent $1 million on a video. They're used to seeing videos where creators spend $500 because people make way less, obviously, in other parts of the world. And so it's like a whole resurgence. But anyways, I won't harp on it. I got my 2 cents out there. I've probably hounded 30 people on your team about this. I call them all the time and I'm like, hey, let's get some dubs going. So
I love it.
They'll find it.
We're on this. We're on this.
Yeah.
I think we probably have to offer Mark the opportunity too to go. Mark, what would you do if you were CEO of Beast Industries?
Oh God,
I don't know.
I don't talk on these other platforms, which is like kind of weird.
The monetization piece is really interesting because we also have friends who post not only short form content, but long form content on Facebook. And, we have friends who at least tell me that their #1 monetization platform for long form video is Facebook. You post long form as well, right, Jamie?
Yeah, it's weirdly, I don't even know if you know this, Mark, but we gained more followers than anyone last year on Facebook. So that's a little fun fact. I don't know if you get like little summaries on that.
He gained more followers on Facebook than anywhere else. And that's because the Facebook is built in a way that has massive viral power. The way that Facebook works is that when you post a video, your friends get to see it, the people who follow your Facebook page get to see it, and then based on how that video performs, it gets recommended to other audiences who are not followers. However, because of the sharing possibilities that Facebook offers, which is something like YouTube doesn't have, TikTok doesn't have, like if you want to share a video, you can just send it to someone and that's it. But on Facebook, you can hit the share button, and if you have 500 friends or 5,000 friends, or even a Facebook page with 100,000 people, you can just share one time and all of those people are likely to see it, or at least a small percentage of those people. So that's why the viral potential of Facebook is so powerful, because of the built-in community and how the share buttons actually perform, how it works on inside of Facebook. And also, whenever you leave a comment, whenever you like a video or a post, your friends get notified and you get those notifications saying, hey, so-and-so just liked this video or they left a comment. And so that's why some videos get hundreds and hundreds of millions of views on Facebook, and they tend to go viral a lot easier, which means if you have a Facebook page, you're able to get a lot of views, you're able to grow extremely fast. I've seen Facebook pages go from 0 to 100,000 followers in a matter of a week, mainly because of content that went viral and the actual community aspect that Facebook offers.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're doing great on all the platforms.
But
turns out you know what you're doing. You know, it's good.
But
I think if you got into MMA content, it would be even better.
Oh yeah, you would watch it.
I already watched some of your stuff, but
we'll do a video, me versus Zuck MMA, but his arms are tied behind his back, and he's not allowed to kick me because that sounds like it would hurt like hell.
I don't know, Jim. I think you should just go for it.
Yeah, you got to just go for it.
Just go even.
I guess last question for you, Jimmy, just as we paint the picture of like, you know, a lot of what we're talking about is the opportunity on Facebook to post content, as Mark described it as like an arbitrage of opportunity right now. Like, what does the future of Facebook video look like to you outside of the lens of dubbing?
Well, I mean, obviously it has, I believe, the most users out of any platform. So it's just the place to reach people like crazy. And so I think more people just need to, you know, make original content. And there's so many different platforms. It's so easy just to make content and repost it everywhere else, but just like taking it more serious, because like
that's one key thing though. You don't want to repost, and you know, repost meaning you take the same stuff you're posting on YouTube and just take it to Facebook and just re-upload it. You don't want to do that. It requires a whole different treatment. And one of the things that we do for myself, my own Facebook pages and our clients, is that we teach them how to create a format. And that is a unique format that just works for Facebook, that is just for Facebook specifically, with hooks, viral components, call to actions, and different things that your videos should have to maximize the amount of engagement and views that you can get for your videos. You want to repurpose, yes. He's not talking about creating specifically original content just for Facebook, but you want to make sure that you're at least reformatting your videos in a way that is unique to Facebook. Because at the end of the day, Facebook wants original content. Even if that content is already published somewhere else, they want original content, but in the sense that that type of video was only edited just for Facebook.
We've been going pretty hard on it. Like I said, we gained more followers than anyone else last year. And, you know, a lot of it was just like actually taking it serious and being like, damn, this is like a place where you can reach hundreds of millions of people, you know?
So those were the best parts of the interview. The parts that I actually thought were good, it talked about different things about Facebook monetization and how MrBeast was actually, you know, being able to grow extremely fast on Facebook. But overall, the message behind this is that whenever you see stuff like this, you have to keep in mind that not every creator makes the same type of videos. Not everyone is in the same niche. And you got to take the advice of some of the stuff that they say with a grain of salt, meaning that it might not work as well for you because you make other, you know, different types of videos, different types of content and topics. So you got to understand that what might work for him might not work for you. And that's why one of the best things that you can do is experiment with your own Facebook page. And of course, if you are not on Facebook already, if you are a YouTuber or content creator that's making videos for YouTube, for example, and you have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, but you're not posting on Facebook because you believe that it's a waste of time, or perhaps that you're not going to be able to make as much money as you're making on YouTube, this just proves that typically you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So you got to just take the content and figure it out. How can I take this to Facebook and monetize it? Because you are making the content anyways. You're spending the time to make the videos, editing the content. So might as well try to build a second audience so you're not just relying on one platform. And I've seen this multiple times where content creators did not know about Facebook monetization, and they jump on Facebook and they started making way more money, and they've been able to grow massive audiences twice as fast on Facebook than they were doing on YouTube. In fact, you can just click on this video right here where I actually interview one of my clients, John. He was able to do just that and grow a massive audience to over 200,000 followers right now on Facebook, and making some good money just by taking the content he was already making and repurposing that to Facebook. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to give you some feedback on the actual podcast, and I'll see you in the next one.